Welcome to the CSITEd Experts Data Science A to G Theory and Programming Bootcamp. In one of my previous videos, I showed how to take care of missing data, okay, in traditional technique using programming codes, and then in some ways, like I discussed 2-3 different methods in this that lecture videos. But at the end of that lecture video, you may remember that I mentioned that, for instance, this is my my invalid data set, and it has, if I open this my data set, then it initially it had both. Actually, let me rerun it. So in this data set, I have some missing values, that is called not a number values, for both of my experience and annual salary columns, right? Okay, so this one, if I open this one, you see that not a number values. So I showed in the previous OS that how to take care of this by each of the individual vectors or columns. Okay, so that I mentioned that it would not be a good way if I have a matrix data frame of 1,000 or million rows with 100 columns. That would not be an efficient way to take care of all of the missing values by column. Okay, so there are should have some efficient ways, and in these videos, in this video I will discuss about that. So let me open my codes. That is missing data makeup. Okay, using a sklearn preprocessing imputer fit method. Actually, okay, this is the thing actually we discussed, right? We discussed in this. Okay, you see that I have some not a number values. Okay, so this is why it is showing me this. Okay, so instead of taking care of this, okay, one by one, there is a good way to take care of the missing values quickly, very efficient way. For this purpose, there is a built-in library. It is called the library is called sklearn. It's called scikit-learn. Okay, so in the scikit-learn, okay, scikit-learn library, there is a preprocessing class. So we will use some methods of this preprocessing class in order to take care of our missing data, right? So let me open. So in order to do that, we need to import this library first. This is done. I have imported this library as imputer. Okay, that I is in uppercase. Okay, so I have from sklearn, I have actually imported my preprocessing. Okay, this class as imputer. Okay, so sorry, no, I'm importing actually imputer class over here, no as directly. So then my data set is this. So let me at this point what technique I need to follow. There are multiple techniques multiple people may follow, but I follow this technique. I'm making another data set. I'm copying this data set actually as my validated data set equal to invalid data set. So, but at this point my data set is not valid yet. I will show you because I have not done yet. although I'm printing my I'm assigning my invalid data set. This is my invalid data set as a validated data set, but I have not done through anything. I will do it soon here in these 3 lines. You see that these 3 lines is very powerful. These 3 lines are very powerful. This block of code is very powerful to take care of all of my missing values in both of my columns, and if I would have more columns, then it would take care of all of these values. So although there are only 3 lines, but these 3 lines are tricky. Sometimes you need to, so please give attention. In order to understand this, please you need to give attention over here. So for instance, this is my imputer class, and I am creating an imputer object over here. Imputer equal to imputer my class name. This is called constructor. Actually, this is called constructor. Sorry, I don't have any document available over here. So imputer. Okay, so what imputer actually help? Actually, I wish I would get some help over here. Okay, even if I do not get help file, or I would do search. I do Google search for imputer help, and then you see that imputer in sklearn. So this is used mainly for taking care of missing values. Then if you go there, then you will see that some in this. Okay, this one actually I will need. Okay, so I am calling this imputer constructor, and I need to put missing values, and then strategy, and then field values, and then this some of this argument I need to pass, right? I need to pass some of this argument. So the first one is missing value. What are my missing values? Missing values is NaN. How do I say NaN? You see that my validated even data set, it has NaN, but if I print over here, if I print over here, or if I print over here, you see that NaN. Okay, but I will tell you in some point I need to put NaN is in uppercase. Okay, then my missing values is NaN. Okay, then strategy I will put mean. For all of my missing values I will put mean, and x is equal to 0. X is equal to 0 means I wish I would get Control plus I, then I would see some. Okay, x is 0 for column and 1 for row. So what do I mean by 0? 0 is for column wise. So then my missing value strategy is so this is my missing value, right? So for all missing values, it will get other non-missing values throughout this column, and then take their non-missing values mean, and it will put that mean in the missing values. So in this case, so x is 0 means this column wise. It will measure the average of non-missing values by column wise. So if we put 1, in some case you may need to take the average of row wise. So in this case it would not make any sense, right, to take the average of this ways, because this is only for what experience, right? So and this is only for salary. So it will take, I want to take x is equal to 0, that means by column wise. And then you will see here it said that my imputer equal to imputer, then I'm calling fit method, maybe Control plus I may get, okay, that's good. Then at this point I got help for my fit method. So for fit and then validated data set. I will put this data set, the entire data set, and I am putting all rows, the entire data sets, all rows, and I am putting over here, you see, 0 to 2. That means 0 is my first column and 0 to 1 is my second column, and you see that 2 over here is excluded. So actually I will get 0 to 1. Actually like this it is. Don't be confused over here, please. Even sometime I got confused. It is like this. 0, you understand the boundary, and 2 at this case it is. So this side, on this side, right side, 2 is closed, 2 is open, because 2 is not included, but 0 is included. So that means it will get column 0, that means first column, and column 1, that means it will get the second column. So it is more likely as a range method, right? For the range method we know that the last value is not included, that is excluded. Okay, so this is the way. And then what do I need to, I will say my validated DS, all of this part, I will put imputer dot transform. I will use this transform method. This transform method is used, you see the transform method is used, okay, to take care of all of missing values. Okay, to take care of all missing values. You see that row, you see if you go through here you will see some description of each of the fit method, and select and press Ctrl plus I, then you will get help for fit, and you will get help for transform method. So these 3 lines actually it will take care of all of the missing values for the entire data set. So data set, you understand the data set, what is mean by data set? I mean by data set, whatever you see data set, this is my data set, data frame, actually data frame. Okay, so it will take care all of the missing values by the corresponding all other non-missing values mean, right? So here in this problem I have taken care of this, but before this you might need to do another thing, right? Whatever this, because there are some negative values, you need to take care of these negative values first, then you will take care of the non-missing values mean in order to make up the missing values. So that part is your homework. Okay, so then please do it yourself. Okay, so I want to say it, please. Okay, take care of the negative experience values by yourself. So it's easy. So you will use if for loop that we discussed in our previous videos. Then it's easy. Then you will put the negative values actually by absolute values, something like this in my previous code. Okay, so then you need to take care of this, but this is not a perfect way. Actually it is not something like this you need to do. Okay, so try yourself, please. This part is your homework, so I think it will not be a big deal for you. And to make this up, then after you take care of the negative values, then you can use these codes in order to make up all of your missing values by what? make up all of your missing values by mean. Okay, so now if I print my data set over here, now it will become a valid data set. It has been validated. You see that how these are the missing values. Maybe all of the missing values are getting same values. These one my missing values. Okay, so all values maybe, and this one is my missing value, and these one as my missing value. So all missing values will be same. And now if I say my validated experience set, then I got my validated experience set. And if I print my validated experience and salary sets, then I will get this. And most importantly, now if I want to find the mean and median of my validated data set, then I can do that. Now we see that I got my validated mean and median. Okay, so this is a very important topic and task. So in order to take care of missing data using the imputer class. Okay, so although these three lines seems to be very simple, but you need to take care of this. You need to understand this. You need some time to understand this, because one of the reason is that maybe at this point maybe you should understand this, that this 2 is right side is excluded, so it's good. So actually it is like this, right? Is like this 0 to 1, but you cannot write 0 to 1 like over here. You cannot write 0 to 1 over here. If you write 0 to 1 over here, then only one of the columns, the first column, will be taken care of. Okay, but another thing, that let me open my data file. Where is my data file? Over here, invalid salary 1 data, right? So if I open my invalid salary 1 data, okay, so in order to execute this, okay, so this actually this fit method and this imputer class. So one thing that you need to take care of, you need to see that, you see that all of my this sometime here I see that this let me close this, and let me reopen this data validation, invalid serial data, right? Okay. Invalid salary data. Okay, sometime you may need to change. You see that these are types are general, right? Sometime you may need to change your type to number. General means whatever you can write. You can write text, you can write numbers and string, whatever you need. But number means only numbers. It can be, so for instance, you may need to change sometime earlier I have faced this issue, that you may need to change your type to number. For instance, you are getting 0.00, right? So then click over here, then it will get 0 like this. Okay, and similarly you may need to take care of this, otherwise maybe you may get some issues in executing some of these methods. Okay, so once you take care of this and once you take care of the negative experience values, then I think you will be good to execute these commands. And this is an efficient way, and later we will use mostly this way in order to make up our missing values. So although this is 3 lines of course, but please spend some time to understand this Thank you so much. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope this will be a good startup for you to do statistical data analysis and big data analysis and data science and machine learning operations. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye bye.